Grable, 11-2. Sprouston Boy and Cashew King are 11-1. Aldino is on 12-1, so is Tamator. Final Try and Fingest, 25-1, and it's from 33-1 the rest.
There's a high-class field on the way out for the Glenlivet hurdle, and 9 of the 13 runners for this race met in the Daily Express Triumph hurdle. One of the iron men of racing. He gives horses a tremendous ride, never gives up, but he's on a 40-1 chance here. Looking at the hurdle, Cashew King nearest to us, Past Glories next to him, then Carousel Rocket, then Aldino just turning away, and Maznoon. Aldino going down ahead of Maznoon, but here is number 16, Tamator, in the well-known colours of Terry Ramsden. Tamator was a winner at Lingfield on his third and final outing over hurdles, beating Hope Diamond by 2.5 lengths. There were 21 runners, but I don't think they were a particularly distinguished group. He's got a lot more to do here. He's 11-1. Useful stayer on the flat when he ran in the colours of the Aga Khan from Michael Stout's stable. They have a very long run to the first flight here. Number 17 is Grable, the only Irish runner. Third in the Triumph hurdle. He's the most experienced runner in the field, having had 8 races. He's won twice at Fairyhouse, once at Navan. He's also been second twice, in addition to running third on his last outing, which was the Triumph. But he finished behind Past Glories there, and Past Glories, the one towards the back of the picture in the pink colours and quartered cap, ridden by Patrick Farrell, who always rides him. Past Glories well beaten by Cashew King, but holds 8 of these on Triumph hurdle form. He's 9-2, open betting. High Noel was the favourite for the Triumph hurdle. He won his first 4 races over hurdles. Then he was beaten at Kempton by Framlington Court, possibly shouldn't have been, and then he finished 4th in the Triumph. But I think this sharp course, and a course where the hurdles come pretty quickly, there are 3 in the home straight, 3 in the back straight, and I think High Noel's jumping and front-running style will suit this course, and I know that's the view of his ex-trainer Barry Hills, who won a stack of races with him on the flat, but now trained by Martin Pipe. Let's have a show of betting.
High Noel still shows as the favourite, 9-4. Past Glories, 9-2. Grable, 6-1. Sprouston Boy is on 10-1. 3 of the one 11-1. Cashew King, Tamator and Aldino, 33-1 bar.
One of the leading fancies for the Triumph was Aldino, who won several races on the flat last year when trained by Alex Stewart. Still owned by Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Boyd Rochford, but Aldino has been moved for his hurdling career to Oliver Sherwood. Aldino showed his best form in blinkers on the flat, so after his first 2 runs, the second of which he only scraped home by a head, blinkers were tried in the Triumph. They certainly didn't do him much good, and they're left off here. Simon Sherwood has the mount. Sprouston Boy, number 15, was one of the leading fancies for the Triumph hurdle after his very impressive win at Ascot, first time out earlier in the season. He won just as easily at Sandown, finished 7th against more experienced rivals in the Schweppes, but was disappointing in the Triumph. Carousel Rocket, another one down the course in the Triumph, but they're lining up. Here's Peter O'Sullivan.
And these young horses have really got tough conditions to face here. They're very, very high wind indeed. Hurricane Henry just a little bit ahead of the others as they come in, and Grable jumps off. Grable disputing the lead in the early stages, with Carousel Rocket towards the near side. High Noel right up there, in fact taking it up now. High Noel and Peter Scudamore, with Grable on the inside, then Aldino. Carousel Rocket right up there. But it's High Noel from Grable. Aldino now gone third as they jump the first. All safely over it. Devil's Run was the back marker. As they run down to the second, it's High Noel with the advantage from Grable and Aldino. And Cashew King right up there on the far side, being followed by Fingest. High Noel there and Grable a little between them. Then Aldino and Cashew King and Fingest and Tamateur. And behind them, Final Try. And then Masnoon and Sprowston Boy and Hurricane Henry. Behind Hurricane Henry is Past Glories, and Devil's Run is the back marker, and High Noel is still making it from Grable. Cashew King on the inside of Aldino, then Fingest, then Final Try, Masnoon and Tamateur. Behind them, Hurricane Henry and Sprowston Boy, and behind them, Past Glories, and then Carousel Rocket and Devil's Run, and High Noel still. From Grable, Cashew King, Aldino, Fingest, Tamateur, Final Try, and Masnoon and Sprowston Boy and Hurricane Henry and Past Glories, and then Carousel Rocket and Devil's Run. High Noel over that one from Cashew King in second. In third, Grable. Tamateur going up on the inside of Aldino, 4 and 5. Then Fingest. Then comes Sprowston Boy making ground on the inside. But still High Noel as they race towards the last flight on the very far side. High Noel jumps it in the lead from Cashew King. Then comes Tamateur, Grable on the outside for Ireland. Aldino quite close to the lead still. Carousel Rocket comes next, and then Sprowston Boy and Masnoon as they swing left-handed. High Noel, the leader, from Grable in second. Then Tamateur and Cashew King and Aldino. Past Glories is making very good ground from the rear. Sprowston Boy is not far off the lead. Racing round the home turn in this gale force wind, and still High Noel, who's made so much of the running. 3 flights left to jump. Grable for Ireland is in second. Aldino holding on to his place in third. Then behind them, Sprowston Boy and Past Glory is still well within striking distance as Tamateur loses ground. High Noel comes to the third last, jumps in the lead from Grable. Aldino on the near side, still improving. This will be the second last now in the Glenlivet. Aldino on the near side, High Noel on the far side. High Noel went through the top. Aldino jumped at the best, coming down now to the final flight, and as they do so, Aldino has taken it up from Grable and High Noel, then Sprowston Boy. Aldino goes right through it, but doesn't lose any impetus. It's Aldino from High Noel, then comes Grable and Sprowston Boy and Past Glories. Aldino inside the final furlong, striding away from High Noel and Sprowston Boy as they race to the line. Aldino's a brilliant winner of the Glenlivet hurdle. Aldino is the winner. High Noel is second, Sprowston Boy is third, Past Glories gets up to be fourth, ahead of Grable 5, then comes Carousel Rocket, and behind him Devil's Run and Tamateur, and then Masnoon, and behind Masnoon was Cashew King, and then Hurricane Henry, and finally the last to finish was Fingest. And so the result of the Glenlivet hurdle, first number 2, Aldino, owned by Mr. and Mrs. Arthur Boyd Rochford, trained by Oliver Sherwood and ridden by his brother Simon. Second was number 8, High Noel, owned by Mr. N.R.J. Wellington and Mr. J.F. Morse, trained by Martin Pipe and ridden by Peter Scudamore. And third was number 15, Sprowston Boy, owned by Mr. Jeff Whiting and Mr. K.D. Blanche, trained by Paul Kellaway and ridden by Richard Dunwoody. Fourth was number 14, Past Glories.
High Noel was soon in the lead, and here he's chased by Grable, who's already under strong pressure, but going very well in third place on the outside as the eventual winner, Aldino, and Simon Sherwood oozing confidence on him here as they jump the first in the straight, the third from home. And here Simon just shakes up Aldino, and you can see him put in a good jump at the second last, where High Noel on the right of the picture meets it wrong, goes through it. I don't think he had any chance anyway at the time, because Aldino is full of running, sprints clear going to the last, and here there's an anxious moment. He pricks his ears. Simon Sherwood asked him to pick up, but he didn't. He put in another stride, crashed through it, but didn't seem to lose any impetus at all, and needs only to be pushed out for a very decisive win, with High Noel battling on well for second place. Then Sprouston Boy staying on to be third ahead of Grable, but nothing else really has ever got into the race at all from 6 furlongs from home. An impressive win for Aldino, making up for a disappointing run in the Triumph.
Yes, a well-devised race this by John Hughes, conceived as a consolation for the Triumph Hurdle, the Daily Express Triumph, and Aldino has certainly left his Cheltenham running behind. The blinkers